Hello everyone, I'm Santiago, and today I'm gonna be testing Total War Saga, Thrones of Britannia on the GeForce GTX 1050 Ti. For performance monitoring, I'll be using CAM. If you want to download the software, there's a link down in the description. So Total War Saga, Thrones of Britannia, I'll be doing 1080p, 900p, 720p and 1440p. To skip none of those sections of the video, check the description below. So first of all, I'll show you 1080p on the G4560, first targeting 30 frames per second, which means I'll try to have the highest graphics quality possible without dropping below 30 frames per second, or as close to that as possible. And then I just lower the settings, trying to stay as close as possible to 60 frames per second. Then I'll do the same on an i3-8100. 1080p on those two target frame rates. Then I just lowered the resolution to 900p, then 720p, showing you two configurations for each of them like I did on 1080p. And then at 1440p, since it was pretty much impossible to maintain constant 60 frames per second, I just targeted over 30 frames per second, which has much quality as possible. On this game, I honestly don't care that much about the frame rate. 30 frames per second on this one for me is just fine. The controls for the mouse and keyboard and all that kind of stuff feel very smooth overall. I see it that way because this game is not like a first-person shooter or something like that when you're constantly just trying to be very precise with your aiming. So in this video I show you a 30 and 60 FPS configuration. This game runs just fine, it's very easy to control, you can even pause the game and continue to control it from there. So in games like this I don't usually try to get 60s, just the best quality possible. But of course that's an opinion, so if you have a different opinion, just follow the instructions to how to get a higher frame rate shown in this video. In my opinion, we have a very good options menu here. For some reason on my GTX 1050 Ti, as an example, the video memory is not correctly displayed. It says I have 3072 megabytes, but that one has 4 gigabytes. So some GPUs, the VRAM is not correctly displayed, but that's just a minor visual thing. And well, so far this Total War game is more GPU intensive compared to the other ones I tested, which is a good thing if you ask me. And well, the options that I lowered in order to get better performance, first of all was SSAO, or screen space ambient occlusion. Then by lowering unit size, unit details and building details altogether, you can usually get a decent performance boost, especially when you do close-ups to the characters. Then particle effects has a major impact in performance when there's fire or smoke on screen. Outside of that, it's not usually a big difference. Then shadows and screen space reflections can also be a hit to performance, but if you lower shadows to the minimum, you pretty much turn them off. And if you need more of a performance boost, just lower the other options that I didn't mention in groups. That's usually the best way if you already lowered the options I told you in the first place. But yeah, the game has a lot of options and I like that. And so far, like on the previous Total War games, the biggest performance impact, for me at least, was to just do close-ups to the characters. If you get very close to your units, you can usually get a major performance hit, especially if it's raining and you're in the forest at the same time. This time around I used the benchmark tool because it was a good representation on how the game performs. You get a good look into the distance, you have a city, you have water, you have a lot of grass, you have some trees around, you also get some close-ups into units, plus some destruction and fire effects. So I see it as a good way to see how the game performs overall. And so far the differences between the G4560 and the i3-8100, because I tested both CPUs on some of my videos, were that on the G4560 when targeting 60 frames per second, when you're just zooming in into units or there's destruction going on, you might see some drops below 60 frames per second, but they are not major drops or big stutters, still a completely playable experience. But overall, as expected, the i3-8100 has a slight boost in performance when targeting 60 frames per second. But yeah guys, that's pretty much it. I hope you keep enjoying the video, thanks for watching and see you next time.
The walls are breached! All hope is lost. The walls are breached! All hope is lost! The walls are breached! All hope is lost! The walls are breached! hope is lost. The walls are breached! All hope is lost! The walls are breached! All hope is lost! The walls are breached! All hope